If you found this video, I'm here to tell you that you are special and that you deserve to do something great in your life. You deserve to give yourself that gift. There were many times in my life that I was numbing the pain of things that I hadn't dealt with properly or didn't know how to deal with. I also had a very deep hole where I thought that I had low self-esteem and it was just eating me up and I didn't know what to do. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I just thought I would numb the pain, and I knew that I was drawn to like music, raves, parties, entertainment, people. I knew that people were a currency and a vibe that I could almost distract myself from the deeper inner work that I needed to do to become a more wholesome human being and actually get on with what I believe I was supposed to be doing in this life. And so, whilst knowing that things weren't right and that I was self-sabotaging, like knowingly doing that, I was knowingly self-sabotaging, knowing that I was stuck in that pattern of behavior, I had to also confront it. And I tried many times. I tried many times to stop that pattern, but it was almost like it had a pull on me. And however hard I tried, I couldn't resist the temptation to just get entertained and just go out and party and love life, because I love life. I love life. And I loved life then. But it was just chaotic in this sense that it was all external and not too much on the internal. And I studied psychology at university, so I was deeply interested in the human psychology and human behavior. But for some reason, I hadn't connected to the dots to why that interest was there. I hadn't connected it to personal development, growth, self-improvement, and I hadn't really connected it to the fact that I could take responsibility for where I was at and for the things that I was not so sure were right for me. I could take full responsibility for that. And then I could go and change some things in my life. And I didn't have to adopt the beliefs and behaviors from my past or from from when I grew up or from anything. I didn't have to take any of that with me, that I could reinvent myself, that I could become a new person. And so when I let go of that old self-image and I realized, hang on, I don't have to carry these baggages. And yes, some of them will still be there, but I can work on them and I can do the work and I can build my self-confidence through commitment to doing what I say I'm going to do, for commitment, for actually trusting myself, not for trusting the external, not for trusting that I need this thing in my life to make me feel good, to get through the day or to get through the night or to just, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, isn't it? Like that idea that this is what you're supposed to be doing to have a good life was even a concept I have to challenge. Was, well, what does a good life look like to the authentic version of me? Not the version of me that I'm presenting to the rest of the world. And not the one that doesn't believe they can't get that job or do this role or have this amount of money. Because there was a limitation there. And it was almost like, well, I had a deep desire at a certain point, and I had to be honest. I had to go, look, I want to get rich. I want to make a lot of money. I want to experience that. But the problem was, I wasn't the kind of guy that could handle that money. Looking back, if I'd have got the money, I wouldn't have done the best I could with that money. And it would have left my pockets. It would have left my pockets. It would have gone into things, ventures, startups, partying, fun, people that I believed in, but it would have left my pockets. And so I wouldn't have been responsible because I didn't have ownership over myself in the way that I needed to in order to be responsible with that money and put it to its highest use. And even then, just to think that I could have it, right? It felt like it was something I wanted, but there was almost this shame around, well, do you deserve it? So I wasn't in integrity with myself, and that integrity was blocking me from getting to those higher levels of abundance. And so when you pull back the layers of yourself and you start to get really honest with yourself and you go, right, write a list, just go, these are all the things in my life that I'm not so sure should be in my life. And these are all the types of things and experiences and memories and traits and attributes and values that I would like in my life. Then you can start to see, well, here's where I am. How do I get to where I want to go? And the biggest thing here is that it comes down to your self-identity. You've got to rebuild it block by block. And to do that, you've got to consistently and repetitiously be that person, be those values, do those things. whether that's taking on a new sport, taking on a new environment, new work colleagues, new friends, putting yourself in environments to be successful, to be that version of you, not this version of you. It's sort of like when you see homeless people. Are we judging them when we walk by? Are we saying, well, I would never do that? But you don't know their story. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know the hardship. You don't know that in those circumstances, that is not just a mirror and a reflection of you. So we're carrying all this judgment around all the time. So getting out of judgment and not judging who you are currently so that you can allow yourself to change, not be so fearful of change that you can transform. So knowing that you can transform and that you can become a better version of yourself and that you're committed to doing it. And it starts by putting trust in yourself, building that self-worth up. I really, truly believe that it comes down to being able to top that self-worth up, that self-esteem piece, but definitely the worth piece. Because the worth piece, it unlocks abundance because then you feel worthy, you feel more integrity because you're in alignment with who you are truly as an authentic self. You feel worthy to receive, worthy to give. You feel more in tune with who you are and what you want around you. So then when those things happen that you've been gravitating towards, because you're giving yourself self-worth from a different source, an internal source, not an external source. Do you see what I mean? Once you create that and you build your internal self-worth up, you can detach more from the external. So you'll be able to stop, you'll be able to resist and make the change because you go, well, no longer this is who I am. This is who I am. So these behaviors no longer serve me. And this is the changes I need to make to support that. And they might be quite hard changes. I think it's worth pointing out that there might be quite hard changes that you need to adopt and get okay with in your mind, that some behaviors and some self-sabotaging processes are taking place, but you need to put yourself and your life front and center, and you need to be the main character. And when you do that and you take, I wrote Be the Lion off the back of this journey, but the 4 C's, the fundamental building blocks that I came up with when I reflected upon this journey. And these were all around creation, so taking action. And that was action that you're taking, whether it's to stop doing a certain behavior or to start creating new behaviors, like putting yourself in networking events, signing up to new study, signing up to new sports to meet new people, changing work environments or people or roles or whatever you need to do, or countries, changing your behaviors so that you're consistent with who you have said you want to be. And so putting yourself in a place to win through that so that you're out creating and taking action, aggressively taking action. The next part was conditioning your mind, conditioning your body. So what's putting in? You can start your mind feeding off of these, getting closer to the people that you're resonating with and the ideas that you're resonating with. And obviously action starts because I want you to put those ideas into action. So we start by getting you rolling with action. Then you're starting to condition. And when you start to condition, it's a bit like when you're just used to eating lots and lots of food, your stomach expands. But when you start restricting, slightly, your stomach contracts more. And so it's a conditioning of mind. It's a conditioning of quality, because your standards in certain areas of what's acceptable for you with your sleep deprivation. Like, I think about it now, I laugh about it now, having 2 kids and sleep deprivation. It's a real thing, but I've trained hard for this. Didn't feel like sleep deprivation 2 decades ago when I'm out clubbing. It was just part of life and it was great. So there's certain things that repeat in life and it's great. We have to love life. It's amazing. But what I'm saying is conditioning is about the quality of the things you're allowing in your life, in your body, in your mind. And then you go through to certainty with it, which is that self piece. It's that self-esteem, that self-worthiness piece. So self-belief, because you need that to drive through. So you need to have certainty in where you're going, what you're doing, and who you are. Who you are, not who the external wants you to be to get acceptance, to fit in. Like, these are big questions. I was behaving in certain ways to fit in because I wanted people to like me, but I didn't like me. So again, give self-love to yourself, boost your self-worth, keep your promises to yourself, boost your self-confidence, your self-belief in the direction you're going. Because sometimes when you have to go away from a group to be more you, they are going to reject you. And they're going to make it more difficult for you. They're going to call you out on it because they don't want you to do that, because it's showing them up. Maybe some of them want to actually do and have the courage that you have to go and pursue your best self, but they're fearful because it's easier in a group. It's a survival mechanism. It's a strategy. So by you going on your own path, you're actually showing them that courage, and that can be confronting to some people. And other people just, they don't care. They just can't understand it, right? So you're not living your life for them. Your life is your life, and it's all to be lived for you. And then finally, connection. So connection to self, connection to the universe and your higher power. So connection is what underpins the whole thing, because that was the piece that was missing, is that you can know something is going on. You can know that you're not showing up as your most authentic and true self. It's missing connections. How can you? You're not focused on connection, not focused on having that time to meditate, get clear. So I would say if anyone's struggling out there with self-worth, with self-doubt, really, pick up a copy of Be the Lion, because it comes from the heart. I wrote that book for you. I think you found this video on purpose, and it's meant to be. It's a sign that this is meant for you. And come with me on a journey. Follow me, Tim J.S. Castle, on Instagram and other platforms, and listen to the podcast. Like, there are people out here that are doing the things that you want to be doing. And I wish this can help other people. Like, that's the main emphasis here, is to help other people who feel stuck, who feel like they're worried about rejection from a group, or rejection just from themselves, because this is all they've ever known. So it can be hard to break through, because it's a self-identity change. It's a transformation. It's about saying, I need to get in my mind from here to here. And so we need to shift, but it comes from the core. It comes from within, and it's not an external change. It all starts from within. The light pours out of you. So I hope this helps. I wish you feel blessed and this message hits you where it needs to hit you, to get you to take action. Because once you start and you make that first move, there's no turning back, because it ignites a part of you that you're like, yes, you're doing the right thing. And personal development, self-growth, it speaks with such an intensity inside. It grabs you that once you get started, you just lean in just that little bit, you'll be all the way, and you'll know you won't look back. That's what happened to me, and I got to break through and transform, and now I help other people do the same thing. So I hope this helps.